feel about that.
Okay.
To an extent, I do agree with you. The part where I agree is that a lot of them in the community expect for people to just jump on board and immediately understand it and be able to acclimate to it. And if not, there's like the repercussions.
Okay.
That part I do agree that's unfair. Now, part of me kind of thinks like, where does this come from? Because
Welcome back to Mind Over Emotions, the podcast. I'm your host, Herk. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram at Mind Over Emotions _VDP. Follow us on TikTok at Mind Over Emotions, the podcast. You can come on the podcast, share your story, be vulnerable, and with hopes to inspire, encourage, and motivate other people to keep going and not give up. Shoot us an email to mindoveremotionsthe@gmail.com, and we'll get you scheduled. All right, today, can you do me a favor, man? Can you introduce yourself? Name, age, where you're from, and relationship status, and if you have any kids.
my name is Adrian. I am 35. I'll be 36 next year. I am from Tacoma on the east side, and I'm single.
Single, trying to mingle.
No. I am single for a reason, okay?
All right, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. And no kids.
Okay.
Nope.
You want kids?
I did at one point. I wanted 4 kids.
Why so specific?
I don't know. Maybe if it's just subconsciously, I wanted to match like the fact that I'm one of 4 kids.
Okay.
But what's funny is it's all boys. So I'm the youngest of 4, and then in my mind I wanted to be having 2 kids that are boys, and then 2 kids are girls.
Okay. My mom would have been happy because she had 7 kids, and so when we were growing up, she's always telling us, she's like, I demand 49 grandkids because just all 7 of us having 7 kids. Only one.
Not doing math to get the grandkids.
Yeah, and then what's crazy is my oldest sibling, she actually did it. She has 7 kids.
Really?
Yeah, and I have 4, and then my other sister has 2, and that's it.
I mean, look, she's got a decent amount of grandkids, though.
Yeah, 13.
It's crazy is my dad is one of 10, and my mom is one of 10.
Dang.
I'm like, what were the odds of that? That like y'all
Yeah.
both came from a family of 10
I think my mom was
kids?
like 1 of 14 or something like that.
They was getting busy.
Yeah,
They had nothing better. I was to say they had nothing better to do.
They had nothing to do, man. But look, man, so take me back to when you were a kid. You grew up in a nuclear household?
What would you define as nuclear?
Nuclear is like, you got your mom and your dad under the same roof.
Yes. So my mom and my dad were together until I was about 11.
Okay.
So they got divorced then. I was actually right when that whole like big economic crash happened. My dad was working for Boeing,
Okay.
and he was doing really good. But then they did like a massive layoff, and then that was just kind of the start to trickle down. So after that, like our house got foreclosed, and then we had to move, and then they got divorced, and then it was just kind of a struggle from there.
Okay. So you were the baby. How would you describe your childhood, being a baby of 4?
Honestly, like, it was a lot of things. Like, I don't think I would ever change my childhood for anything. It was a great childhood while I had the opportunity to be a child. However, I did realize as an adult, after having conversations with my oldest brother, that they were trying to make me tough. Because how I will put it, as he told me, was we knew you were sweet. So we had to tough you up. And I didn't know how to like react to it. I think I'd like laugh, but I also was like confused at the same time, you know. But then there was like it was like that weird stage of like the grief where you go through all the motions. Mm-hmm. It was like I was like irritated. I was like laughing about it in my head, you know, and I was also sad about it because like honestly it made me think like I could have had the opportunity to fully be myself and come out as me early if I would have had that support. Unfortunately, the black community, especially when it comes to men, black men, it's really difficult for us to be able to really express our emotions and be who we are. Like,
are you saying just black? So generally, as just being a black man, not necessarily as a black man who's a part of the community.
But I would say just as a black man, just starting there. Okay. Just because I didn't even have an opportunity to come out, obviously, until I was like 24. So, just experiencing what it was like being just a black, you know, kid and then a black teenager and a young adult, like these things were, it was difficult, honestly. And I think a lot of it was religion. There's a big influence in that.
What religion did you guys, did you grow up in?
Christian? Baptist, you know, or they would say Kojic. So Church of God in Christ, you know. Yeah. Very, very hypocritical, in my opinion. This is just me observing as a kid and, you know, as a young adult being in church. I had no option but to go to church every Sunday. Mm-hmm. You know, and grandma was over there in the pew on the left, so, you know.
With the big hat on.
With the big hats. Oh, man, them hats is big. Especially on Sunday.
I think that was every kid, man, because, like, even me, like, me personally, like, I didn't really mind church. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the fact that I was forced to go to church.
Exactly.
And I don't even use the word force. I like to say, I mean, it is forced, but it was just kind of like overly encouraged.
Yeah, it was like the fact that it was the expectation.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? It was the expectation that you're just supposed to be going to church, and you know, there was like so many different things that was like, oh, you're going to hell if you do these things. And I feel like being in the community was one of those highest priorities of like, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
And it was drilled so much into me as a kid that I was afraid to even try to look into that side of myself. I had to repress it a lot. And then being the youngest of 4 boys, everybody want that gay shit around here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was the idea. And then not only that, like, the way they depicted it on TV and media wasn't good either.
Yeah.
There was no, like, they didn't show what, like, a gay person who just is normal looked like. It was always super sweet or honey, oh yeah. You know, it was always like the extra sweetness, the glitter, the, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it was that kind of thing. And like, you know, if it wasn't that, it was like grown men, straight men, supposedly, who were dressing as women and being, you know, on TV shows, comedy shows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Shanae and, you know, Big Mama's House and all those different, Tyler Perry, you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy as black people eat that up.
Yeah.
They're okay with that, but you're not okay with just a regular black man being gay or a black woman being lesbian or, you know, bi or whatever the case may be, whatever they choose to be.
I'll say this as a straight man, and don't crucify me, but I'm just gonna be honest. So like, but no, like I think we might have had this conversation before too. My biggest, I wouldn't say issue, is kind of like how you were saying, like, I didn't have a problem with, like, you know, people being gay. It's your choice. You do what you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not here to judge, right? But I just didn't like all the, you know, like you said, the extra sweetness. Like, you know, if you want to be a man, if you're a man that likes men, that's your choice, right? It is what it is. But you don't have to do all that extra stuff. You don't have to be, you know, because it's like, to me, it's like, now you're trying to be a woman. You know what I mean? So then, like, you're like borderline trans in a sense, right?
In a sense, I guess you could say
like
that.
mentally trans, maybe.
Yeah.
Because what I'm saying is like, if you're a guy and you like guys, that makes you gay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with it. Just be a guy that likes another guy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it is what it is. But when you start, it gets. We had a conversation off camera just a minute ago, right? And you asked me a question. You know, we're jumping way ahead of it.
Way.
But we're just gonna let it go where it goes, right? But you asked me a question. You said, "What I don't understand." Or one thing that I don't understand is this: if you're gay, but you want to date a guy who acts like a girl, then why not just date a girl?
I mean, it goes back to the sexual orientation. Like, you're clearly into men. Like, regardless of whether you decide that you want to get to someone who's maybe feminine. And I think this kind of is a thing that can maybe be touched on for also straight men. Sometimes you have to embrace both sides of yourself, the feminine and the masculine side. I think that we take too much of the masculine points of ourselves, and that's just the expectation because that's what's built into our society and into our brains.
Okay.
I think that maybe women would appreciate men more if they tapped a little more into the feminine side, but obviously not letting the feminine side overpower your masculine side. It's more about just balancing who you are as a person, and it's in a way it's like centering your chi, right? You know, you're centering yourself. You're getting to know the best parts of yourself and not suppressing the worst parts of who you are.
But then you have women who say that all men these days, this generation of men, is soft. They're feminine. They want to be they want to be princesses and queens.
See, and I think that depends on people's outlook of what they believe is soft. You know what I'm saying? Like, not every woman's idea of them saying, I think that men are soft is necessarily the same. You know what I mean? Like, a woman can still think a man who sits here and builds and, you know, goes and does construction work or does manly man stuff is still soft in a way of his emotions. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's different dynamics with that. And I think at the end of the day, it's more about understanding who that person is if you're focusing on someone. You can't just project that onto everyone and just think that, like, that blank slate or that template you have in your mind is going to apply to everybody, because then you're going to lose out. You're going to lose out on a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I have gotten older and I have learned, like, I just have to take things with a grain of salt. I do. You know what I mean? And if somebody feels a certain way about me, that's you. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that goes for anybody who's straight or gay, though.
Exactly.
Yeah, you just gotta be comfortable with your own skin.
And
I was having a conversation, not to cut you off, I was having a conversation yesterday, but just even about, like, just women in general. I was having... They don't want me to
Right.
Somebody tapped in and said, they don't want me to talk about this. Don't say it. Don't say it. But basically, I was saying, you know, it's funny because, like, you know, like, especially like with women, they always say, like, you know, like, love yourself and know your worth and, you know, be happy in your skin and all this stuff. But then they go out and they get lip injections and eyelashes and do all these things to make themselves look better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who told them that this stuff makes them look better, but I mean, that's whatever.
Society.
But, yeah, but what happened to loving yourself? You know, because it's like, why you gotta go get, you know, all this stuff? I'm not saying nothing's wrong with it. I'm just saying it's like a contradiction. You know, because it's like, just be happy who you are.
It is really, in my opinion, I think it's easy to undo things rather than to obtain things or to, like, gain. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like, I feel like it's harder to adapt a habit that you've never adapted before. You know, they say it takes like 21 days or so to, you know, create a habit. But you can drop a habit just as quick. You know what I'm saying? And
if you want to.
Mentally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of that self-hate and wanting to become somebody else comes from just years of maybe experiencing things that maybe beat you down mentally. Like, maybe you were in a relationship and you were mentally abused. That's going to bring somebody's idea of themselves down. They're just cleaning up trash. I'm nothing. I ain't shit. Because this is what this person told me, and I didn't believe that for so long, but it was there so long. I had no choice. My mind just adapted it because I had nothing else to get me out of that mindset. You know what I'm saying? And even me coming out of like my relationship, part of me was just like, I had to realize like I lost some self-love for myself. I was like, where was I at? Like, where am I at now versus where I was at like 2020 when I first had my experience of dealing with anxiety for the first time, and then getting that self-love that I needed, like, and then being so happy with who I am as a person. You know what I'm saying? And I, like, nobody could touch the self-love I had for myself. But that obviously changed because, I got in a relationship, and, regardless of why I got out of that relationship, like, it still mentally did something to me. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm like, okay, I have to work on that. And I think going back to relationship thing, people need to take time for themselves and just take time for yourself. Stop. I have a nephew, and I'm not going to bring up who that person is, but my nephew has a habit of being in a jump relationship where, you get out of one, you're instantly in another.
Like dating for sport, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, but you talk about out loud to people how you don't like having to deal with all of this shit when it comes to, being in an abusive relationship, whether it's physical or mental, and, you know your worth and all this other stuff, but, you're consistently not showing that. Like, your family, your people that care about you see like you're destroying yourself. And then the moment you're out of that relationship, we're like, hey, take some time for yourself, love yourself, like, really just focus on you. And literally a month later, your ass is in a relationship. I'm like, see, nigga, this is exactly why I don't give you advice and I don't fuck with you. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's for my mental sake that I can't fuck with you.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta step away because it's mentally draining. But let me ask you a question. So, growing up when you're in middle school, high school, right? Obviously, you were saying that you had to suppress, like, one side of who you were, because obviously it wasn't, socially acceptable. How did that affect you mentally? As a kid?
It was pretty bad. Like, I had some really dark days. Like, I've had moments of, like, suicide.
Okay.
Suicidal thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, I've never ever got to a point of, like, actually getting ready to do it, but the thoughts were there. Like,
when you were in those thoughts, like, what kind of thoughts were you having?
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of being here. Like, something's wrong with you. Nobody's ever gonna love you. And that was the depression talking. You know what I mean? Because, again, like, this suppressing, like, it just eats at your psyche, your whole being of who you are, your soul. Because
because you're in a sense you're faking, not necessarily faking, but like you're portraying something that's not fully 100% you. Like, you might have to, like, let's just say, like, for example, I'm not sure, maybe you can tell me if this is how it was for you, but like maybe as a man, a boy who knows that you like boys, right? Now you're around your brothers and your friends, you have to act like you like females, like you're into them, and deep down, you're actually like his brother or something, you like boys, but you can't say it because of fear of, like, being judged, or fear of being picked on, or being called sweet, or whatever the case may be. So I could imagine that would definitely, because, like, how were you when you first realized that you like boys?
Honestly, I don't think I understood it, but going back, I think the earliest I can think is probably maybe 12, 13.
Okay.
But I didn't know what these feelings were. It was never explained to me. I never had that support system to actually sit me down and be like, what you're dealing with right now is like you're into other boys, and you know, blah 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 blah. Like that was never explained. I had to learn all this on my own. You know what I'm saying? And even after I decided to come out, like it still was a process for me. Because
what was your biggest fear of coming out? Like, what was your thing you're most fearful
of? At the time, it was being shunned.
Okay. By your family or like the church?
Family.
Okay.
I honestly didn't give a shit about the church. I know that's wrong to say that, but I didn't. Like I think my journey and my path has kind of helped me to be more of a spiritual person. Like I still, you know, have faith in.
I got a question for you. Because you're here, I want to ask this question. So, like you said earlier, like, you know, going to church, especially like in a Baptist church, you know, Church of God in Christ, all those different types of churches, right? Obviously, they back in the day, they used to frown upon like, you know, being gay in church. You know, like you said, they said you're going straight to hell, right? So, somebody who experienced growing up in that, and then you look at churches these days, and they have like gay pastors, publicly like gay people in the choir, and they're accepted. How does that make you feel?
By the way, there was always gay people in the you know.
No, I'm saying like outwardly.
Outwardly, yeah.
Like you know about it, like you know it. They're not hiding it, and the church accepts it.
Honestly, like I think it's great because I think it's great to an extent that sometimes I think it's being commercialized, like in a way where like they're just doing that obviously to bring people in, you know. But like if there's genuine like, I want, you know, you to come as you are, and we just happen to have gay people that are, you know, a pastor or whatever the case may be, and we accept everyone, then that's great. You know, I would love to be a part of that one day, you know, and find my own place. Okay. But until then, like, I'm not gonna fake the funk. I'm not gonna do that shit. I'm not, you know. And like, with that being said, like, how do you feel about that?
I just feel like, to be honest, that to me, I just say for me, it makes me confused. Because hear me out, because growing up, that's how we were raised.
Right.
That if you're gay, it's a sin, going to hell, right?
Right.
And then fast forward a decade or whatever the case may be, and now you got them in the church, you got them doing this, and it's like, so wait, I'm not talking about me personally, I'm just talking about church in general. Did things change? Like, did y'all have a conversation with God and he says, no, they're cool? Like, because you guys pushed that narrative so hard.
Yeah.
And then now you guys, even, and it's not just like...
It's not just that now.
But it's not even just like the new generation is doing it. You still got the people who were running the church before, the deacons, they're still there. And they're accepting it now.
And it's crazy that it's outside, it goes outside the church too. Like, if you think about it, like even entertainment.
Yeah.
Now, like, it's, even as somebody in the community, I can say myself, like, I feel like it's being overpushed purposely.
Yeah, commercials, crazy.
It's insane. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy that like the community is being spread out there more, and it's more acceptable. But like, again, it's like everything is just capitalism. It's all just capitalizing on what is happening now. It's trending.
Yeah.
And it really still leaves people like me by the wayside. You know what I'm saying? Only people who really benefits from that is like celebrities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, people who are in the limelight.
Do you think that gay women have it easier than gay men?
Absolutely.
So do you think that that's why maybe like you see like these Hulu commercials, every time you see a Hulu commercial and there's somebody gay in it, it's always two gay dudes? Mm-hmm. You think they're just pushing it because they're trying to get the world to be more acceptable?
Yeah, I think because you know, and it brings me back to like, remember when we were growing up and you know, Super Bowl obviously is still a big thing, but it was like, I felt like it was even way bigger back then. But you remember those commercials they used to do, like Budweiser, and they have the two women, they're just like
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, that was acceptable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's on TV at that time when it wasn't acceptable to be, in the community. So where's the hypocrisy here? Like, it's okay to do that shit, but if you put two men doing that, there'd be an uproar, right?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So there's always this fantasy with straight men turning women or bisexual.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or turning a lesbian woman straight. So why is it wrong for a gay man to want to turn a straight man gay?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I personally wouldn't do that. That's just like, I am a boundary person, so I would never do that. And personally, that's too much work.
Let me ask you a question. as a gay guy, I know as a straight man, I think I can speak for all straight guys and answer for us. But I want to hear your point. As a man that's straight, right? You're talking about a straight guy. If you can sleep with him,
You weren't straight to begin with.
huh?
I feel like I know you're going with that.
Do you think that they were straight in the beginning?
I don't.
I think that they were probably like how you were as a kid.
Or maybe they were like, had one foot
Yeah,
out the door,
Yeah, no.
They weren't
listen,
sure.
you're
Or maybe it
fuck-
was more like this.
Yeah, no, like
Like-
I feel like they just never got in the right circle to where they felt like it would be acceptable for them to come out,
Could be.
and they just faked the funk the
Could
whole
be.
time because there's nothing that anyone can do to make me gay.
See, and that is what I respect. I respect that. Like, again, I go back to being a boundary person. Like, I wouldn't even want somebody who I don't know, whether they're attractive or not, to be all up in my face. I don't fucking know you. I don't fucking know you. Don't be all up in my shit. I have a boundary. Friends, I'm cool with it because we have that established, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even with this whole thing with like turning someone straight, whether it's a woman or man, like I feel that same way too with like women. Like if you got turned back to being like you slept with a dude, clearly you ain't really lesbian. Maybe you're bisexual. You know what I'm saying? Like even for a man, like if you happen to sleep with a man, like you might be bisexual. It doesn't necessarily mean you're gay. I think people just instantly go to that idea.
I would say something that's really controversial. And they're gonna
slam you.
They're about to destroy me. I'm all about honesty, right?
Yeah.
As a straight man, and I've heard a lot of other straight guys feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing, before you answer or respond, there's no such thing as a bisexual man. You're either straight or you're gay. Once you go over there and you cross that fence and you start, doing the gay activities, there's no coming back and saying like, hey, I want to try it out. I know you don't agree with me.
I know. Okay, so if that's the case, like, do you feel the same about women?
No, I can explain why.
Okay.
I guess we're going to have this conversation. It's fun. Shout out to Tasha. I know you should be watching. She's going to be laughing because we had this conversation before. And
You can't wait to hear this.
This is why, man. I'm just going to be bluntly honest. If you got kids, you probably want to take them out the room real quick. I'm just
Go on, Timmy. Go on.
No, but no, seriously, it's because, right, two girls, if they, have sex together, right, anything that they do to each other is, quote unquote, a natural thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if they eat each other out, whatever, if they use dildos on each other, it's cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anything that is heterosexual that you can do in a relationship, in a sexual activity, can be done to them, and nothing's changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you flop that to guys, right? No straight dude is going in sex, sucking a dick, and I said straight dudes, right?
Straight, yeah.
Right? No one's penetrating nobody's butt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't take that back. In the straight men community,
you can't.
right? Whereas girls, anything that they do together is no different than what they had sex with the opposite sex. Versus with guys, it is different.
But that doesn't make sense because at the end of the day, you're still having sex with a woman. Like you can't take that back either.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's why it's more acceptable.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, our whole entire society is jaded. Very. I'm like, let's not sit here and act like back in the Roman times, back during times of Cleopatra, and these kings and queens, they were not doing orgies, sleeping with same sex. This has been going on for centuries.
Oh, I don't doubt.
It's just, you know what I'm saying? And it's just interesting how the narrative gets shifted through each period of like history. You know what I mean? And a lot of these things were erased, but now people are finding out, and you learn more when you become an adult. Obviously, like you start getting inquisitive, and then you want to get answers to these questions you have, and then it changes your perception of things. And at the end of the day, like, I respect anybody's choice to do what they want to do or be who they want to be. Like, if you want to be straight and you're straight, great. Be comfortable with that. What a lot of issues I have, and what makes it hard for me to try to shoot my shot or to date is because of the fact that people are in the closet. Like, I don't know who, and the way that a lot of straight men react to how I approach them is crazy to me.
So what do you mean?
Like, I had a dude, so when I used to go out in my 20s, like, I was one of those people, like, I don't go out specifically looking for, like, to get laid or nothing like that. Like, I'm just, shit happens. I'm worried about, like, enjoying my time with my friends, just being out here, like, being a part of the ambiance, you know what I'm saying, in the environment, and just having a good time. So I'm not really paying attention when people are maybe staring at me or, might be into me or whatever the case may be, unless they actually come up to me.
Okay.
I was at a bar with some friends, and my homegirl was like, Adrian, like, this dude, like, is looking at you from across the room, like, and I'm like, no, he's not. I was like, he's probably looking at you. Like, so I'm just like, nah. And she's like, you should go over there. I was like, no, I'm good. Later, says the same thing to me. I'm like, okay. I was like, that dude over there? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I'm not stupid. I know my intuition. And I was like, okay, I'll shoot my shot. So I got up, and it takes a lot to do that.
Yeah.
I got up. I went over there to the pool table. I said, excuse me. I said, my name's Adrian. My homegirl, she said that you were looking over this way. You might have been looking my way, just coming over to check, see if that's true. And introduce myself, and, and before I could even finish being like, hey, if you're not into it, if you're straight, like, that's cool, like, we're good. Go about my business. Before I could even do that, he just flipped the fuck out. Are you fucking serious? I'm not fucking gay. I'm here with my girl. Now, mind you, like, she looked like a proxy. I was like, oh, no, that is not your girl. But, that was neither here nor there. It was about the fact that he flipped out and got so defensive about it, which after later, like, that really led me to believe, like, okay, he probably is in the closet. Because after that, he's like, who's your homegirl? Who's your girl? I'm about to go talk to her, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that ain't even that serious. I was like, you don't need to know who. Nah, fuck that shit, blah, blah, blah. Starts walking over there. I was like, you're not gonna do shit, bro. Like, and it just turned into a whole big old thing. And then, eventually leaves and goes over here to do whatever he's gonna do. And I'm just like, are you fucking serious? And I'm like, it literally could have been just a simple, like, hey, man, like, I'm not into.
Why do you think he turned up that much?
Because I think he's hiding something.
Okay.
Like, either that or you truly are not comfortable with yourself and your sexuality.
I think, yeah, those might be the two options.
I don't see any other options.
Huh?
I don't see any other options.
I'll give you some examples because, like, for me, like, when I was growing up, I used to be a major homophobe. Right? I mean, granted, we grew up in a different time, but at the same time, like, I remember, like, I was, like, 5'3", long hair, small feet, light skin.
Yeah.
Like, so naturally, the gay dudes at my school
Yeah,
were all, yeah,
yeah.
I had one gay guy. He had me as the screensaver on his phone. He was in journalism, and he interviewed me for the sports section.
He kept your photo.
He took my photo. I was in PE. I know I was in basketball practice, and we're doing shirts and skins. And so I had no shirt on. And he interviewed me, whatever. I'm not thinking that of it.
Right? Yeah, of course.
And they took my photo. So, and yeah, one of my friends told me that he had me as a screensaver on his phone.
That's stalking.
And, yeah, it was crazy. I'm not gonna say who it was. It's not important, but
of course.
Then like when I played basketball, there was a school. They had a gay cheerleader, and he would literally. I was on the other team, and he would literally cheer for me. He'd see me out there like before the games, like, you know, JV might be playing, and we'd be in the, like, you know, out in the area, like where the food stands or somewhere.
Yeah.
And he'd always be like, "Hey, Kashawn," like he always had to speak to me, and my teammates would always give me shit, you know. So for me, like, it was just kind of like I didn't know how to just be like. I think I never. That was like my first introduction to the community,
Yeah.
right? And so it's like,
You gotta just gotta be normal, like a normal reaction to it.
yeah, like, it's just like, no, motherfucker, like, I'm trying to be accepted by my peers, it's like that. It's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not gay.
And
Like,
I think really what that is you in your
Immaturity.
mind, you probably thought you were, you know, that would make you gay by association.
oh, I say,
No.
I never thought I was gay.
No, no. We already established this, sir. We already established that.
I said, hold up, man.
No, I'm saying what I'm saying is, I think for you, at least that's just what I get from it, from a lot of straight men, like when they were in that phase and they're no longer in it, is that they felt like they were going to be labeled as gay by association if they were comfortable enough to be like, hey man, I'm not, you know, I'm not into it, or
if
like,
you didn't react,
or be
crazy.
friends with one, you know what I'm saying, and just like establish your boundaries. Because I'm like, what a lot of straight men don't understand. I'm like, if you have a gay friend, like, you're winning.
Yeah.
Because
as you get older, you realize it.
Yeah, I'm like,
the question is, when we were younger, I remember they used to ask the question. They'd be like, so what would you do if you found out your friend was gay and you've been spending the night at his house and he never told you that he was gay?
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel? What would you do? And I remember specifically saying, like, oh yeah, I can't be his friend no more. Like, fuck him. Like, yeah. And it was, then as I got older, I started thinking, I'm like, why? Does it really matter?
Right.
Like, you know, and then I think when we're younger, I think it's just I think it's more like an immaturity and a fear. You know, it's just like more like
fear.
You're fear there. Yeah, like you're fearful that people are going to, like you said, like be guilty, label you. They're going to, all the jokes is going to come with it because a lot of people don't have the knowledge, they don't have the understanding, right? And then there's also too, and I think we've had this conversation before, especially with gay men, there's a lot of really pushy gay men that I think that maybe it's a challenge to try to turn a straight dude gay, and they don't know how to accept no
boundaries.
Yeah, so they just keep going. I've had that happen to me before, like, you know, like on social media, like a gay dude keeps hitting me up, and it's like, bro, like, you know, if you think that I'm, you know, attractive to you, that's cool, man. I don't really care. That's fine. Yeah, just, you know, what. I'll say this: I've matured a lot because I had a gay dude comment on my photo one time, and he commented. He didn't say nothing really outrageous, right? He just kind of like, I forget exactly what he said, but it wasn't nothing bad, really bad. But he complimented me. The old me may have like snapped on him a little bit, right, or got pissed off. The new me was just like, "Thank you, man, appreciate it," and kept it moving.
Yeah,
and it doesn't make me feel any kind of way. It doesn't make anybody who reads it or even somebody who's listened to the story. It doesn't make me fearful that they're going to think that I'm gay. Yeah. I mean, one, I got 4 kids.
I think,
and I think anybody who really knows me knows, like, I'm not gay.
But it's not even that. I don't even think it's that. I think, you know, that whole term, like, you are your own worst enemy?
Yeah.
I think that just, it's all in our heads. Like, we really hype ourselves up to be like, yeah, people are going to think I'm gay if I do this. But in reality, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, because people are just living their lives and doing what they need to do. Like, and at the end of the day, I'm like, you ain't in my bed. You ain't in my bed, so why do I give a shit? You know what I mean? Like, so it's not my concern. Like, I will support you with the choice you make as far as who you are, but, like, at the end of the day, it's not affecting me. It's not going to hurt me to be your friend, you know, because you're now out. You're now, like, this concept, even with, like, families, like, my family example, like, it's like you think that somehow, like, I turn into this new creature. Like, when only thing that's changed for me is my sexual orientation.
Yeah.
Literally. Nothing else has changed. I'm the same Adrian, I like the same shit. Like, I'm still, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing has changed about me. Like, I still enjoy anime. I still play video games. I still like to go play basketball with the boys. Like, nothing has changed. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, like, maybe you didn't have that opportunity to have someone who was actually just a normal person and just happened to be gay.
Yeah.
And they understood boundaries, and because honestly, a lot of the community, there's a lot of people that do. It's just that it gets overshadowed by the ones who are extra and like to do all that, which is fine. Like, if that's naturally who you are, that's fine. But there are some people that like to do that on purpose. Like, they like to create this facade and be feminine and extra, womanly, and like, and that ruins things for a lot of people like us. I would rather not date over like apps. I'd rather organically meet somebody. But again, it's hard. It's super hard, and it's depressing sometimes. You know what I mean? Because
Before we get into that, let me ask you a question. So, did you graduate high school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we're supposed to get to your life story, so I was just curious if you graduated high school.
Yeah.
We're skipping past a lot. Obviously, we have to bring you back to get to that part, but I think that, this is a good topic because there's a lot of people probably watching, including myself, sitting here, who kind of opened your eyes to see, right, from a different side. But also, with your parents and your family, when you finally did come out in your 20s, how do you, in your opinion, how do you think that they accepted it?
So I'm just gonna say now, I didn't come out to my entire family. Even now, I haven't necessarily come out to all of my family. Reason being is just because I would rather them come to me.
Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me there's family members who you associate with now, who you haven't came out to?
Those are people that I don't associate with.
Oh, I was
like,
say,
if it's a daily basis, then they already know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell. Yeah. Like
you
you're
can tell, huh?
Yeah.
What makes you tell? am I overly flamboyant? Ooh.
No. Oh man, you over here breaking my stuff, man. Ooh. Come on, man. You come on the podcast. I guess I offended him, guys. Nah. What? Well, yeah. I mean, there's, you have some feminine parts. I mean, not parts to you, but like, things about your character, right? I think honestly, for me, I think when I first met you, I knew it because the way you laugh.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, like, nah, for real, man, because most dudes, when they laugh, it's like a and they laugh. He's going to do the quiet laugh now, man.
I cannot. That is new to me.
See,
like,
right there?
No, that's new as fuck. Like, it really is. Like,
because I remember we were over at Mike's house. Big shout out to Mike. We're at Mike's house, and you and Shay were in the kitchen, and this is when we always just smoke out back. And we're smoking out back, and I hadn't even said nothing to Shay yet. I hadn't met you yet, and I'm sitting back there, and I was smoking. And I remember I heard the laugh, and I was like, no one else besides, like, like my nieces and stuff that were gay. And so I'm like, who the fuck is this gay person? Who brought this gay person here? Right? I was like, who the fuck is that? And I'm thinking, because I didn't see nobody else get there, so I'm thinking that it's like somebody who I already met and I know, and they're just like, they're about to come out. Because you just got exposed. That's a gay laugh. And then it's you. And then I think I remember it was the first day we met that we actually had like, towards the end of the little function where we were having I think me, you, Shay, Lacey, I think we all sat down and we just kind of like at the end, like we were drinking, we had a conversation, and kind of the same conversation we're having now. I think it happens a lot when we're all around each other. But I enjoy talking to you about this topic, you and then like my friends Tasha, just because you guys don't get offended, right? No. You guys are okay with you are okay with us, people who are not a part of the community expressing how we feel, and or how we see things, and then you kind of just, even though I'm gonna feel how I'm gonna feel, right? And I never try to be disrespectful to you or to really anybody in that community. But here's the problem with a lot of those straight people, and I'm gonna tell you this. We've had these conversations, not me and you, but we've had a conversation. Is a lot of people in the LGBTQ community. That's how you say it, right? LGBTQ.
There's some other letters and
there's more letters.
I just do LGBT.
I'm just gonna call it the community.
That's probably better to do that because, like, at this point, there's numbers, symbols, everything else. I don't know.
Man.
I lost track.
My friend Tasha, you should watch her episode. She told me one day, she said, I don't even know if I'm gay anymore. I've been gay my whole life. She in her 40s. I said, what do you mean? She said, they got so many different types of gays. She's like, I can't keep up. She's like, I thought you just a gay girl.
This is me.
She's like, I thought being gay was just being a girl or a guy who likes the same sex.
the same sex.
She's like, you got what did she call it? I talked about it on a podcast before. Touch me nots.
See, there's like lipstick lesbians, there's butch, there's so many. Like, same thing with the gay. I cannot keep the fuck up. I can't do it. Like,
but this is why I bring that up. Because I think for one of the biggest struggles for us, people who are not a part of the community, straight people, is you guys come up with, I'm just saying the community, I was going to say you guys. The community comes up with, these, what are they called? I don't know, these different types of addressing them as a female or a male, these pronouns, there you go, pronouns and stuff. And we're supposed to, one, accept the fact that you just created something, right? And we're supposed to adapt the way that we've been trained to think our whole life, the way that society has just functioned as a whole immediately. And then if we don't do it, now we risk getting punished at work. Yeah. We risk getting, canceled on social media. It's so much that bad that can happen when it's literally like it's something that you and that community has just created, right? And that's fine, but you can't be so mad at us for not necessarily accepting it right away or making a mistake. Like, for instance, let's just say you're one of those people who said, hey, like, I'm, what's it called, non-binary or something like that?
Yeah. Right?
Let's just use that for example. Or that you don't be referred to as a man, you're going to be referred to as a woman. This is simpler, right? And then I look at you, and let's just say hypothetically, the only thing you got that is womanly about you is you got your nails done, painted or whatever, right?
Right.
But I'm looking at you, you're a whole ass man, right? So naturally, I'm going to say, hey, sir, hey, bro. And then you're going to get mad and be like, don't call me that. With your deep voice, I identify as a girl, right? And then now you're going to take me to HR.
Right.
I'm going to get suspended. Might lose my job because a whole deep voiced man is right in front of me and expect me to. It's supposed to address as a girl. But see what I'm saying? Like, I think that's our biggest struggle. Is like, you can do what you want to do. We're cool with that, but don't expect us to have to conform, so easily.
There's a lot of things that I kind of feel about that.
Okay.
To an extent, I do agree with you. The part where I agree is that a lot of them in the community expect for people to just jump on board and immediately understand it and be able to acclimate to it. And if not, there's like the repercussions.
Okay.
That part I do agree that's unfair. Now, part of me kind of thinks like, where does this come from? Because obviously, like, this whole idea of like the labeling everything, like, this I feel like was more of a straight thing where there was labeling and stuff like that. Like, everything has a label in our society, right? Mm-hmm. So where does that come from? Where did they get this idea to start labeling the community the way they do? Sometimes I feel like people need to look within and understand that, like, this didn't just come from nowhere. Like, when there was a time where it was not okay to be in the community, there was no community, really, outwardly. There was no labels. You see what I'm saying? The only labels that we saw were the labels that we see out there that, society or straight people have created. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this is that whole thing is like, our world is not black and white. Everything is very gray. So sometimes you just have to think when it comes to a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, I think that while it should be okay for them to be who they want to be and have people respect that, there does need to be a boundary set where there shouldn't be a repercussion for people choosing not to. I mean, if you don't want to accept it, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're spewing hate,
yeah,
and
different.
you're, that's different. But if you just are like, it's not really my thing, like, and then just go about your business, nothing's wrong with that, because just like you made that choice, they made their choice too. You see what I'm saying? Like, this whole idea of like, it's okay for certain people to make choices and be okay with that and have the world be okay with it. But then you turn around and there's repercussions for you making your choice, for certain things. But there's a line of morality where you have to understand, like, sometimes certain things is going too far. Sometimes it's not.
All right.
That's the way I see it.
I can respect that. I kind of agree. What do you think the biggest misconception of Adrian is?
I don't know. I really haven't taken the opportunity to care. I think maybe just people just not understanding like who I am, like that I'm just a normal person.
Okay.
Possibly, but I think the people who know me, like, no, I'm just a normal dude. Like, I you know what I mean? Like, I have my gay moments because I'm gay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just want to be treated like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I don't need, oh my God, like, ooh, like, I don't need, like, I think, especially with women, I've gotten this so much where women,
I can't,
bro, like, it's annoying, honestly, because I get so many women, like, that are like, because I feel like a lot of people do tell me that they like my energy. They're like, you have really good energy, you have good vibes, And I'm like, great, I appreciate that. But what annoys me is, like, I'm sick of women always trying to be like, I want you to be my next gay best friend. I don't want to be your gay best friend. I already have a best friend. Like, stop putting me in that category.
Yeah.
Stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because what if I put you in you a hoe? I put you in a hoe category. Like, like this bitch, this hoe. You know what I mean? And I start treating you as such.
Yeah.
Are you going to be okay with that? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's no different than being like, oh, well, you deadbeat nigga. And I start treating you as that. You probably ain't going to be cool with that. You probably going to fight me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So what makes this any different? Like, and I shouldn't, a lot of times I just kind of, I don't necessarily go with it. I just kind of brush it off because I just don't want to deal with it. Like, I don't have the energy to deal with it. I literally, other than working 5 days a week or when I'm working, I'm trying to shut my brain off. I'm just trying to relax, chill, and just enjoy my time off until I have to go back to work again.
I feel that. All right, man. You know what time it is, right?
Spin the wheel.
Spin that wheel, man.
I had to feel it. See, I don't know what's on the wheel.
Yeah, I really don't let people read it. And then if you try to watch the episode and look at it, it actually changed. Everything
Really?
Everything
You
on
change
different.
every time?
No, I don't change it every time. That's too much work. And I do this all by myself, so
Okay.
I ain't got time to do all that.
Yeah.
Plus, I let it run for I've changed it like maybe like 3 or 4 times since I started it.
Mm-hmm.
So I let it run for a couple episodes, and then I change it. So like for the last episode I did, these are all new except for like 2 of them, which I kept on there because I feel like those are really good ones. But these should be some good different topics.
Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, oh, you don't have the little thing like Price is Right. It makes the noise.
You know, I should get that.
You should totally get that. That would make it more dramatic and just great.
All right, so you're on therapy. So basically, have you ever been to therapy? What's your outlook on therapy, and what's your advice to anybody who's trying to, think about going to therapy?
I have never officially been to therapy.
Okay.
However, I have done. Actually, no, I lie. I haven't maybe done traditional therapy. I have done something called. It's like a sound type of therapy. Like you sit and you listen to certain sounds, or you just maybe sit and you watch shows or listen to music. And what they do is they send like these waves into your brain while you're doing it, and it's supposed to help adjust like the way you think in your mind, so that it helps with like your anxiety or other mental health issues that you may have. You know, and it actually did work pretty well when I was doing it. But I would really like to do actual therapy, like talk to a therapist. Reason being is because I feel like obviously it's going to be a lot more personal, a lot more intimate, so that you're able to break down a lot more and learn a lot more. My issue that I find is that I cannot find the therapist that I want, which is I would like someone who is like me, who understands me. You know what I mean? Like,
so they would have to be Black, a part of the community.
I would prefer it, but it's not necessary. I would say
which part's
at
not
least
necessary?
at least one aspect of it.
Okay,
you know
so
what
they
I
could
mean?
be another nationality and part of the community, or they could be Black and not a part of the community.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So it could be at least be a Black woman who just is a heterosexual woman. You know, I'm okay with that. You know, I just want you to understand some aspect of me.
Yeah.
So that at least you can get in there a lot better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't require obviously to be that specific, but if I can get and touch those bases, like, that would be great.
I agree, because I feel like for me, like, if I was to go to therapy, like, that's one of the things I always say. Like, you see therapists, you always see like this like middle-aged old like man or woman, white guy, white woman, and it's like, how much can they really tell me? And how much can they really relate? Like, they're not Black, they didn't grow up, any kind of way similar to what I grew up.
They didn't grow up in rough neighborhoods. They didn't, And my thing is, like, I'm not about to have you over here just throwing pills at me. Like, I don't like
pills
that.
Are
doesn't
just
always
buy
fix.
the book advice. Mm-hmm. Sometimes like that don't work.
No, it doesn't, and sometimes it makes things worse.
Yeah.
So
because it doesn't. It's like cookie cutter therapy. It's like, because it's not going to work. Like, you need specialized therapy that's for you. So like for instance, like how you said, like a Black woman, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, you're not a black woman,
right?
But that Black woman grew up in the Black community, probably, right?
Right.
And so the things that you're going with, she's either if she hasn't personally experienced it, she's had like brothers that experienced it, or cousins, or somebody in her family in her community has experienced it.
There's some aspect that she has experienced,
and she can see it from a different lens, But like, if I had somebody who, like, if I just had like some old Chinese lady,
right?
Like,
they gonna make no
she's
sense.
gonna be like, go get a massage. I got a happy ending.
I already got one booked, actually. Thank you. I appreciate that. But that is not going to help with my mental health issues at all.
I'm sorry if that offended anybody.
That was
but
funny.
You guys know it was funny.
But, like, that's exactly what I'm talking about, though. Like, even though, like, it's a joke, but still, like, that same concept is where I'm getting at with, like, if you are going to get therapy, take your time, find someone who is going to address whatever you've been through that you're needing to unpack. I think that that is essential to really getting like the help you need and really being able to actually like dive into yourself and find out what it is that needs to be healed. Because at the end of the day, like we all need to be healed in some way. Nobody's perfect here. Like we're all flawed beings. Like we have our flaws. And while flaws can be bad, I think flaws do sometimes make the best of people too. You know, like you love people because of who they are, their quirks.
Yeah,
like,
flaws make you unique.
Yeah, they make you unique. And sometimes you could turn those flaws, those negatives into positives.
True.
Turn it into something constructive, something good, you know what I mean? And I'm a victim of brainwashing. I can say that. Going all the way back to, like being in the closet, in that process of like thinking that it wasn't okay and just being brainwashed to think that like this, the only two options is like kill myself or, you know what I mean? Or just hide it forever. And that's sad. That's really sad because there's a lot of kids that deal with that now. There's a lot of adults that deal with that now. There's a lot of homes that get broken because of that, because the man or the woman, they are in a relationship, get married, have kids, and then right in the middle of it, they decide to something snaps and, they decide to be who they want to be, and it just disrupts the whole family.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's better to give people the opportunity to just do it now when they're young, not when they're so young, when they don't understand, but when they're at a point where their mind is developed enough, when they start asking questions, you know what I mean? That's when I'm like, you help them. I don't think it's good to force it on a child. I don't think a child should be swayed one way or the other. It should be a natural thing where they're naturally getting these feelings, or naturally like, this is just who I am, or I'm feeling this way, Dad, like what is this? Like, can you help me? Or even if they don't ask you for help, you're maybe keen enough to see that there's something going on, and you give them that opportunity to open it up for them. Like, hey, like, I did notice that you were doing this, or this is different, or did you want to talk about something, or, I'm here if you need me. I'm not pressuring you.
It's crazy you're saying this, because I literally was going to ask you in our closing, I was going to ask you what kind of advice, because obviously we all need a support system, right? I was going to ask you, like, for somebody who might have a kid who is gay, or
whatever the case may be.
Like you suspect it, because I feel like parents, you're gonna know. You can tell.
I feel like you gain that.
If your brothers knew that you were sweet,
right?
Your parents knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, how do you provide, as somebody who had to go through it on the opposite side of it, like what kind of advice would you give to somebody, like a parent, to like provide a space to where the kid feels comfortable to say, you know what, at the age of 15 or whatever age it is that they have questions, or they realize that, hey, I might actually be part of the community and I don't want to hide it. How do you provide a safe space for that conversation to be had?
I think openness is a big part of that. Just being open to the possibility that could be a thing, and not
take yourself out of the equation.
Okay.
Take your ideals out of the equation, because if you start taking your own thoughts and your own ideals on how you feel about it, it's going to maybe ruin it for them. Because, like we've talked about, like we grew up
with it not being okay.
Yeah.
So if you're applying that to a child who's dealing with it, do you think that that's probably the best thing for them? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? So again, sometimes you gotta take a step back and think about what is best for my child.
Yeah.
Not what's best for me to do for my child, because then that's you being selfish. You see what I'm saying? And I think a lot of parents don't understand, like, unfortunately, and this is going to sound bad, but you are part of the reason that your kids turn out the way they turn out. Because I get it, nobody's perfect, and I'm not a parent, but I would think if I was a parent, I'm going to make mistakes. We all are going to make mistakes. Like, it's a part of the process, but at the same time, like, you do have the opportunity to try to learn and do as good as you can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, yeah, like, these small little things that happen in these kids' life, it may not be big to you, but that could be a pivotal point for them where that could cause issues, mental issues for them down the line when they become adults. Because, you know, again, like, while maybe they're experiencing something that you said to them that was so bad or profound that it just shattered their whole, like, perception of whatever maybe they were thinking or how they thought of you or thought of whatever the subject is, it again becomes a bigger problem later when it's not treated and it's not addressed. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you know, if a woman has bad relationship problems with men because, you know, she had issues with her father growing up, you know what I mean? Or vice versa with a man having issues with, you know, his mother growing up or didn't grow up with a mother, you know, things like that. Like, those are going to cause little problems that we now have to deal with as an adult, and it's harder to deal with as an adult. I'll tell you that. Like, I spent most of my 20s having to fix what was broken in me.
What's one thing you think was broken in you?
Me having the perception that, like, I should be straight and I'm a problem, I'm an issue, I'm sweet, and that is I'm sweet like watermelon.
Your brothers are funny, man.
You don't even know that happened, man.
Listen,
they get on my damn nerves.
First off, let me just say this, man. This podcast, this episode has went totally different than I expected. I knew that this conversation was going to be had, obviously, because, like I said, it always happens, but we literally have not got into really none of your life. So we're definitely bringing you back to do that. Okay. But this whole episode, ever since you said my brothers was like, man, we knew you're sweet. That has been stuck in my head. It's just like, that's fucked up.
I'm like, this is some bullshit. Like, I'm just like, it's with that. Like, it's just like, why didn't you give me the opportunity to give me a safe space if that was the case, instead of trying to toughen me up, which I'm glad they did. That helped me be more resilient in the world that we're in now. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate them for that. You know what I'm saying? If I need a knuck or buck, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, we all know this, and we be trying to tell people, like, look, hey, a lot of gay dudes can fight. I seen some gay dudes fight, man. Hey, just because they're gay don't mean that.
They don't mean nothing.
Don't mean the testosterone has left.
Right.
Like, maybe for those ones who take the hormones.
Yeah.
But you know, for the average, you know, just straight up.
Dude, yeah.
How do you call it? OG. I'll call them OG gay guys. The ones who just like, hey, I'm a dude who likes dudes. Those are OG gay guys. Mm-hmm. You heard it here first on Minority Emotional Podcast. We named them.
Oh man, OG 80s, huh?
Hey, OG gay dudes.
Straight those up. Those are the ones you might want to, you know, not want to FAFO.
Yeah.
You know.
FAFO. What's that?
Fuck around and find out.
Oh. I was like, hold on. I thought it was like a community thing.
No.
Like, I really don't know what this is.
Nope.
Fuck around and find out.
That's a general thing.
Okay. Confused the shit out of me. But look, man, I appreciate you as always, man, just being open to talk about, just especially this topic, bringing some enlightenment to us. And even though we all, 90% of the time, we agree to disagree, we get a little bit of a understanding from each other's side.
It's life.
Yeah, I appreciate you just being who you are and open to talk about it. And what do you think about the podcast?
I think it was cool. Yeah.
Cool. Would you ever come back?
Yeah.
Maybe you can encourage Shay to actually show up and do a podcast with me.
Yeah,
I'm calling you out, Shay. I know for a fact you're gonna watch this
having
episode.
Any sort of issues going on? Cause
I know, Shay. I know you're gonna watch this episode because this is your best friend. So I know you're gonna watch this one.
Walking.
And so I'm just calling you out right now. You're supposed to be the first person on this podcast
That is true.
To break the ground, be the first person I ever interviewed, and we're past the original 1 year date, which the 1 year date is actually January 10th, but the original 1 year date was December. Actually, today.
Today?
Yeah, it was supposed to be the first time we shot it last year.
Okay.
And so big shout out to Shay for that, for standing me up. Without
Not
you,
the shout out.
look, without you, I don't know where I would be right now. I mean, podcast could have went some. I'm just messing. Shay, I love you, but you gotta bring your ass over here and get interviewed, man. Share your story. You got a crazy story. But look, man, I'd love to have you back, and I appreciate you again. What advice would you give to somebody out there who's battling with, some kind of mental health issues, battling with suicide, battling with coming out the closet, or whatever the case may be? What kind of advice would you give?
Give yourself grace.
Mm.
I recommend reading a book called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's about the mind and creating and undoing bad habits. And in that, he mentions that, the fact that we are our own judge, jury, and executioner. And I think a lot of times we get so into our minds and our heads that we can be our own demise. So I really think that it starts with giving yourself some grace, and then from there, just take it one step at a time. It's okay to get help. It's okay to reach out, and as long as you just take it day by day, and like I said, give yourself some grace, it gets easier.
All right, there you have it. All right, man. Again, like I said, I appreciate you coming on, being on this podcast. All you guys who made it this far in the episode, I appreciate you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram at @MinorEmotions_VDP. Follow us on TikTok to get your shorts and your reels at Minority Emotions the podcast. And if you like to come on the podcast, again, shoot us an email to minoriteemotionspodcast@gmail.com. And my brother, we out of here. Peace.
Yes. Y'all are loved.
All right, man. So this part of the episode is where I like to call Hot Seat Herk. So pretty much I allow the guest who comes on to get the experience, to give me the experience that you experienced. Pretty much where you don't know what you're going to be asked, you don't know what we're going to talk about, and you got to answer it. So you get to ask me whatever question you want to ask me, and I'm going to answer it honestly.
Okay.
Shoot.
If there was one point in history that you could change, what would that be and why?
I'm going to answer this, but I'm going to answer it differently than you probably expect me to answer it. Because actually, no, it's kind of answering it. So one point in history that I could change, and why would I change it that way? I would change it to where black people, we still were slaves, but at some point in history, the roles reversed to where white people were enslaved by, I don't know, maybe the Mexicans or something, I don't know. But to where they were enslaved, because I think that maybe now they understand why we are the way we are, and why we, we're not, because we're perceived as so dangerous, right? I feel like the reason why white people are perceiving us as, not all of you white people are watching either, why the racist white people are perceiving us to be such a threat, because back in the day, right, they kept slaves as quote unquote dumb.
Right.
Couldn't read, couldn't write, couldn't really communicate that well, because then you can do what?
You can be controlled.
Control, right? So now we're able to do the same things that they can do,
and surpass.
It's surpassed, right? I feel like the things that they hid from us, we've mastered them. You see what I'm saying? Like, because you tell me one thing about, and this is no shade, and please, viewers, don't think that I'm trying to be like messed up or anything. It's just society if you look at it, right? Find one thing that white people accuse black people of stealing from them, besides the black dudes stealing their women. Because that's the only thing they're gonna say, right?
Still all our snow buddies.
But no, like, what I'm saying is, like, you think about it, right? They say, you know, or we say, you know, white people still are, they still are, what do they call them? Culture vultures, right? They steal our culture, they steal our music, they steal our dances.
Yep.
I don't think it's stealing. I think it's just we all, you know, that they appreciate good
I mean,
music.
maybe you took inspiration.
Yeah, you know, but there's nothing that you can point out that I can think of.
My thing is, y'all need to give credit where credit is due. That's
maybe what I'm
my
trying to
biggest
say.
thing.
Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, like, you guys need to give us some credit instead of just, like, you know, trying to take it and make it
Maybe
sound
like
like
it's yours.
Yeah, you know.
I agree.
100%. Because I mean, like, even like you said, like with music as an example, like it's like people don't even know their music history that much and know that rock came from blues, you know, and blues came from black people in the Roaring 20s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, in order for you to see
Who started country music?
Black people.
It's crazy that
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
considered white music, but
Yeah.
it's created by black people.
But it has been
Big shout out to
shifted
Kane Brown.
so crazy. I do like some Kane Brown. He's cool.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a big country fan, but he's cool. He's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like we're going back to this credit. It's as long as you can take the opportunity to give people the credit that they deserve instead of bashing people and then turning around and then utilizing the same thing you're bashing is crazy to me. Like, that is psychotic. You know what I mean? Like, you sit here and you can act like you're afraid of black people, but yet your son or your daughter sits here and does dances that black people do. They listen to hip hop, they listen to R&B. You know what I'm saying? They talk the same slang.
90% of the things that trend on TikTok are black community. You look at these dances that you're doing. Look at this, from the song that the dances are to the actual dance themselves. It's a lot of, like, you know, other cultures. I think it's just single out white people. Other, you know, nationalities doing these dances, mimicking things that black people have been doing for years. They're just combining them into, like, this, like, mosh pit of a dance,
Right.
and now it's trending.
Yeah.
And I think what's really dope for us African American people is that we see it and we don't react like they do. We don't hate it.
We don't sit here and go out in the streets, take to the streets and destroy shit because, you know, we can't get you guys to stop doing it.
Yeah, like, and we kind of like I'm not gonna say who it is, but there's one white guy who's on TikTok, and he was doing this dance, and literally he created a dance that we've been doing, but now they call it his dance, right? And I'm looking through the comments, and it's a whole bunch of, like, predominantly, like, black women, and they're literally, like, complimenting this dude, like, you know, they call him Red Velvet. Now you'll probably know who I'm talking about.
Shit,
They're like, go get it, Red Velvet. Like, there's all this stuff,
they're
right?
like, easy white chocolate.
You know, like, yeah, like, they be going in and they be giving them compliments, and it's like, but when the roles are flipped, it's like, oh, sit down, you're being ghetto, you know.
This is ratchet.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, no, it's the same thing, because what you're doing is, with that quote unquote person, I ain't gonna say a nationality, but that person that's not black, what they're doing is they're taking that ratchet dance, this ghetto dance, and this whole hood personality, and mosh pitting it all together into one dance, and you're viewing it as one thing in time, and then now you're like, oh, that's cool. But individually, you were insulted, you were talked about, I'm insulted, I'm talked about, I'm judged, the whole community is judged until they mosh pit it together. So I would like to say, to answer your question again, if I could change one thing, it would be that they would experience what we experienced, so that way they can understand why we view things and do things the way we do it. We wouldn't have, but I wouldn't change the fact that we went through slavery, because slavery has made us into who we are, and I think that black people are the most dopest people.
Very resilient.
Resilient and dope, because we wouldn't have, like, some of the music we had, because that was our way of communicating.
Yep.
Music was our way of communicating during slavery.
Same with dance.
Yeah, dancing. It was like celebrating it, communication, and all that. You know, it's just like other cultures, like you got the Native Americans and all them that do it. But that was
Spaniards too. Yeah.
because of us being in slavery. I mean, we probably did it before back in Africa, you know, or whatever. But when it came to the America, I'm speaking just for America.
Yeah.
That was
But he created something new.
yeah, like
Through pain and suffering, unfortunately, it birthed something new.
yeah. So I appreciate the question, man. It was a dope ass question, and yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I would change.
That was a good answer. Yeah. Thank you for answering that question. Yeah, that was great.
All right, we out of here for sure. Peace. All right, that was good.